What is up, sexy people? Today we are going to find out, do all men think the same? Well, as a man myself, at least I identify as a man, I am going to see if I think the same as these guys. So today we're reacting to this Jubilee video with a lot of views, like over 6 million views. Do all men think the same? I'm gonna weigh in, see if I think the same. And what am I talking about? Let's just get right into it. One thing I know is that most men, when they see my videos, they subscribe. So if you're like most men and you think the same way as most men, then you'll subscribe. If you're a woman watching this, then obviously women subscribe as well. So just get that out of the way and let's react to this video. Alright, everyone going to strongly agree. If you're a guy and you have never worried a single time about the size of your penis, then either you have never been connected to the internet or seen any TV shows or movies and you are extremely insulated, or you are a liar. So even if you don't worry about it now, which you shouldn't because size doesn't matter, every guy has probably worried about this before in their lives. I have when I was younger. Of course I have, because porn and TV and everything else is telling us that size is basically the end-all be-all in sexual pleasure. It's, size is the only thing that matters, and if you have a small penis, then go away. We don't want you. We don't want to have sex with you. I will say this is not true, because sexual quality is far more determined by psychological factors, how aroused, how turned on, how present your partner is in the experience. All of those psychological factors are far more important than the physical part of sex. Obviously, the physical part plays a role, there needs to be one, but if you can turn your partner on, get them aroused, spend more time during foreplay to build that arousal and excitement and anticipation, then what you do physically won't matter as much, because your partner just is going to be so turned on and ready to go, and it's going to be awesome. Okay? Let's see where these guys line up. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh my god.
No. These guys.
It's just a normal thing to be worried about.
Yeah, so these guys that are going to the disagree side, that's not true.
Growing up, you're like, am I normal? I
hate this. I guess when I was younger, I was like, whoa, is this normal? Is this not? But eventually I was like, nah, I'm fine.
Well, wait a minute. The question was, have you ever? So this he's saying, yes, I have ever, but I'm going to go on the disagree side.
I feel like this whole conversation is just bringing to my awareness how impressionable and how much of our lives and our masculinity is defined by when we're kids. When everybody's like, oh, you gotta have a big dick, you gotta have a big dick. And all you see is only time you see a dick is on porn and it's 14 inches, then it's well, mine doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
Then of course you're gonna start thinking about it versus.
I'm actually changing my answer.
Oh. I was right. After a couple discussions, these guys are like, yeah, I guess I have worried about it. Now they all go to the agree side. So that's 1 point for me, I guess, because I said every guy has. Like I said, unless you're extremely insulated and have not, been exposed to the internet or social media or media in general, then maybe you wouldn't have worried about this. But yeah, this is something that's so ingrained and such a big factor in porn. Like the guy said, porn is basically telling you that to be attractive and sexy, you need to have a big penis. And so yeah, that causes a lot of anxiety in people, even if they have a big penis. But I'm here to tell you again that it doesn't matter. As long as you can turn your partner on, keep them aroused, psychologically stimulate them, then that stuff, it it loses its importance.
I changed my mind because what he said was, it made a lot of sense, because I remember the first time I saw porno and I saw a black guy's penis, I was like, I'm not like that. As I got older, I perfected my craft. I've never had a problem with women. It has nothing to do with the penis. It's all about, it's not the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean. You just love a woman, you embrace each other, and it's just, I've never had a problem with a woman since then.
All right, dude. This guy's like, I mean, he should make these videos instead of me. That is an interesting adage. It is not the size, it is the motion of the ocean. So I think that is still kind of focused more on the physical side of sex. Motion of the ocean, I think. Physical stimulation, I think thrusting or body position or how you use your penis physically. I would say it is a step further than that. It is not the motion of the ocean, it is the waves of the brain. I just now thought of that. Okay, this wasn't scripted. Yeah, for women, it is far more important to be psychologically stimulated rather than physically stimulated. Women need time to get horny, to build up to the sex. They can't just go all out like guys can in a matter of seconds. For them, it takes that arousal, it takes that psychological stimulation to get the sex to go anywhere. And that remains true during the duration of the sex as well. Psychologically, it's far more important for women to be aroused mentally than it is physically. So if you dirty talk, if you keep them engaged in the experience and keep them present, that is going to determine better sex far more than motion of the ocean, and definitely far more than the size of your unit.
I think for younger guys, this is the concern that I'm realizing is like, maybe if these discussions were more open about size and whatever, and that really over time it all becomes okay and it's fine, maybe that would help a lot.
A man should pay for the first date.
Ooh. They're making me answer this question. I would say no. I would say there's no expectation for the first date to even cost anything. I mean, a first date can be as simple as just going out together, hanging out, talking. It doesn't have to be a dinner thing. You don't have to buy anything. It doesn't have to be an expense. And so for that reason, no, you don't have to pay. Also, it's just kind of, I feel, determined by the people and the circumstances and all that stuff. Listen, if it makes you feel better as a guy to pay on the first date, then do that. Then definitely it makes sense for you to pay on the first date. And if you're really opposed to that as a guy, then find someone that's okay with that. In terms of consensus on this, I think it's gonna be a mixed bag. I think probably most are gonna go on the disagree, just because it's like a sign of the times, female empowerment and stuff, and for some reason empowerment means money. Well, let's see.
2, 1, go.
Nice.
I like the way the old school ways work. They did work, we just messed it up.
So that's important to you to like take that leadership role, to be,
Tradition.
to be like the breadwinner?
I'm the caretaker of society. I don't even like saying it this way. Once you give the woman the power, then you just demasculated yourself. I want to stick to what's made me happy, and my grandparents, my parents, I'm just gonna stick with it. It's not perfect, but it works.
Interesting take. He doesn't like to be demasculized, if that is a thing. I would say I probably don't want to be demasculized either. It sounds scary, sounds dangerous. But see, it's like I said, if it makes him feel better, then definitely he should do it.
Be a man, plain and simple.
I don't know, I think we're just getting in dangerous territory when we start talking about chivalry. At the end of the day, it's like, yo, baby, if you want to pay for this, like, there is no hierarchy
baby.
here. Like, if you want to pay for this, pay for this. And maybe next time I'm like, I just got a check, so I'll pay for it.
Wasn't this the first meal, though? You
Yeah,
said?
the first one.
Okay. You only get one chance to make a first impression.
I think first impressions are a little bit quicker than by the end of the date if you're paying. Well, I guess you could pay in the beginning too. Well, okay. It could be the first impression. I'm wrong, okay?
And your logic shouldn't be, like, no disrespect, like, oh, because my grandpa did it and it worked for him, then it works for me. If she's not gonna date me that second time because I didn't pay for her, I think I dodged a bullet.
That is a good attitude to have. Not just in the paying part, but if you don't get along and there are other glaring things that are maybe making your potential relationship not work out, like you're not compatible in some way, even if you would like to be compatible, you are really dodging a bullet by not spending any more time than you need to with that person. Dating is all about basically eliminating anyone that isn't good for you and finding someone that is good for you. So don't waste your time on people that are going to be a waste of time and use that dating process to eliminate people that aren't compatible with you.
Toxic masculinity is overblown.
Oh, toxic masculinity. This video has put me in a lot of tough positions here. Alright, toxic masculinity. Does it exist? Possibly. Is it overblown? I would say yes, it is. It's been a long time since I've been in the education system. Apparently it has changed a lot because I never learned about this stuff when I was in school, in college, and so maybe I am just uninformed of how prevalent toxic masculinity is. But to me, I feel like people are on a spectrum. There are feminine men, there are masculine women, and really, who cares? If you're being toxic in any way, then yeah, that sucks, and you shouldn't associate with someone that is toxic. And that's basically what it is. If there's someone toxic in your life, then you have the power to not associate with them. If it's their choice to be toxic, which it is their choice because it's their behavior, then you don't have to spend any more time with them than you need to. In terms of where do I think these people will lie, they seem younger than me, maybe a couple of them. I would say the older people are going to say that toxic masculinity is overblown, like me, because I don't know. I think it's just kind of changing times, and I think the younger people are going to say it is not overblown. That is my prediction here.
3, 2, 1, go.
I overblown. Wait, what? Overblown.
Most are disagreeing.
Yeah. Oh, that's the exact right word.
Yeah, I think I just somewhat agree that it's blown out of proportion because I think what happens with social media is a group of people coin a term and now we're all painted by it.
Like, we are not in like a post, I don't know, like rape culture world, you know, like women are being catcalled every day. And so like men are still, I think, seen or experienced as like a predatory presence to women. So like that's why I just don't think it's like overblown. I think it's just, it's new.
That is interesting. Predatory. I don't know what to say about that. Is it?
If we were good men, there wouldn't be feminists, they wouldn't be attacking us, they wouldn't be hating us. You have a lot of guys who don't want to commit to marriage. You have a lot of guys who catcall. So yes, men have become toxic. And once again, I have to be consistent.
You know, it is a new thing. It's really new, which is why maybe I don't have a good opinion on it, because I just am not informed about toxic masculinity enough. Is masculinity itself toxic? No. It is just a way to describe how men commonly are and how men commonly behave. That's like saying, is there such thing as toxic femininity? And I'm sure some people believe that that exists too. It's just kind of a weird thing. I don't know, that's my take on it. Masculinity is not a bad thing. If you take masculinity to the extremes and you start treating people badly because of that, maybe that's toxic. I don't think there are many people that do that though. I think most people are just behaving normally how they want to, and they're just being fine.
I see what you're saying, but the way you're framing it, like this word moral is kind of
We don't know what that is anymore though. That's
well,
the
it's like, it
problem.
sounds like you're saying like it's men's job to be like the moral compass of society. I think it's everyone's job.
It's everybody's, but men, if men want to coin themselves as the leaders, you have to hold up to the good and the bad.
That's part of the problem though. Like that's what I think toxic masculinity, or it's putting too much pressure on yourself.
I am comfortable showing my emotions.
Comfortable showing my emotions? I would say no. I am not comfortable showing all my emotions with everyone. There are select few people that I am comfortable showing my emotions, but for the most part, I don't want to show my emotions to that many people. And I even think that as a guy, I am more open than most people that I know, at least. I would say most of these guys would have to say they disagree with this because it's hard to show your emotions. I don't know if that's correlated with being a man or if a lot of people are afraid of that. I think as men, we're kind of taught more often to be kind of more stoic and kind of stronger. And I think portraying emotion is it's kind of been misconstrued into being weak, where I think if you actually experience the full spectrum of emotions and you're not afraid to express that, that actually takes more courage than hiding it, which I think makes you actually stronger. So that's my take on it. I think most men will agree that they're not comfortable showing their emotions. Let's see what these guys have to say.
3, 2, 1, go.
Wow. Yeah, the Instagram polls, right? What's wrong with these guys?
Showing my emotions were bad. And like me trying not to be gay, I'm like, no, like I don't want to show these emotions because I'm not gay. I can't be gay. Like I'm not supposed to be gay. Like the church tells me, my dad tells me, my mom tells me, everybody's telling me I'm not supposed to be gay. So like just understanding that at 25, now 26, like I'm over here like, okay, like, oh, you're insecure. Okay, that's what that feels like. Oh, you're sad. That's what that feels like. I can now be aware of those things, but to show them to other people right now is like really hard for me.
I feel for that guy. That's tough. And I get where he's coming from. Because, like I said, men have kind of been taught that emotion and showing your emotion is weakness, and it could be associated with being gay. And so if you actually are gay, then I can see how that's much more difficult to cope with. So not only are you fighting your emotions, but you're also fighting your sexual desires and sexual preference. So it's kind of a double whammy there, which it sucks, and I feel for him.
I do feel like I'm very verbally like about my emotions with my wife, but I wouldn't agree completely because I'm not like that with anyone else. I mean, I just failed a college class and I was crying about it to my wife, but no one else at school saw me cry, you know? I specifically texted my wife, make sure the kids are asleep by the time I come home, because I just knew I was gonna be like, as soon as I stepped through that threshold to my house, I was just gonna let go, and I didn't want them to see that. But like the next day I sat down and I had that conversation with them, like, hey, I just wanna let you guys know, you know, your dad didn't pass this class, and they're like, oh, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, of course,
you
you know.
just
like,
cry in front of your kids, man.
See, I think that is extremely realistic for probably most men. I don't think many men are going to put themselves on this strongly agree side like they did. I think most men, they don't want to show everything because, like I said, it's not manly or it's weak, and no guy wants to feel like that, even if it's not the truth or how it should be.
I remember like seeing my dad cry for the first time when his mom died, and I remember like imprinting
His mom, your grandma, dude.
you know, like my dad can be upset, and that was like an important thing to witness.
It's reality, emotion.
Yeah, it's real.
I was raised by two parents that I never ever saw cry. The effect that that had on me was by the time one of them passed away very suddenly, I didn't really seem to be affected at all. So I've actually had to do a lot of therapy on that. This thing about masculinity not being able to show your emotions is very bad. It puts us backwards in society, and we need to be thinking about how to tap into our emotions in a healthy way together.
Well said, dude. Yeah, like I said, expressing your emotions is kind of a powerful thing. You should feel all of the spectrum of emotions there are to feel in life. That is real strength, in my opinion, to be able to express that. It's hard, I know. It's probably hard for most women, too. I don't think this is mutually exclusive to men. But anyway, what did we learn in this video? And that, I guess, not all men think the same, right? And that's exactly how it should be. Everyone is a unique individual with their own opinions and unique thoughts on stuff. That is how it should be. That's what makes the world a fun place to live. So, there you have it. If you like this video, then go ahead and subscribe. Leave me a like, leave me a comment. I will respond to as many as I can. I'm doing daily uploads, so ton of content coming out. Mostly sexual content, but occasionally this kind of stuff and other reaction videos. But anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye, guys.